Hi guys, I'm Richard and this is Overtino, and today we're going to be travelling to Hiroshima in Japan. My previous two videos were in South Korea, but we've now made it to Japan, and our first stop is Hiroshima. Now we only have 24 hours in Hiroshima, so we're effectively going to be doing a speed run throughout this video of the best things to do and see. So if you're unsure whether to include Hiroshima on your trip or not, make sure you stay for the whole video. We've picked a hotel close to all of the main places we want to see. And first up, we're heading around the corner to catch a boat which is going to take us over to Miyajima Island. We've made it just in time to get on, and the trip across is about 40 minutes along the river, and then you actually go onto the sea to get there as well. While we head over, let's have a quick recap of the trip. In case you're new to the channel, this video is part of a series. We started in episode 1 at the North Korean border. In episode 2, we explored Seoul in South Korea, and now we have headed over to Hiroshima, where we're going to see Miyajima Island and explore a bit of the city before heading over to Osaka, where we will see Universal Studios and explore the city. We'll then head up to Kyoto to see the amazing temples there, before getting a high-speed train all the way to Hakone, which is near Mount Fuji. And finally, we will head on to Tokyo. So if you're interested in watching the rest of the trip, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Once you've made it out of the river and into the sea, the boat speeds up quite a lot and you pass by some cool little islands on the way. And we have made it over to Miyajima. To be honest, the weather is pretty grim, but we're still going to get to do all of the things that we set out to do on the island. And it hasn't taken us very long to spot the first thing that we came here for, which are the deer. There are hundreds of deer that live natively on the island, and they seem more than happy to interact with humans and accept food off them. When we were originally arranging the trip, we didn't know if to go to Nara or come here and see Miyajima and Hiroshima, because Nara is also a very well-known spot to see the deer. But by coming here, of course we get to see Hiroshima as well, and there's also some other special things on the island, but I won't spoil that just yet. Now let's take a quick look around before we grab some food. We've stumbled across this stall that's selling oysters, and I've heard they're supposed to be absolutely delicious in Hiroshima. And I've never actually tried one before, so I'm going to give them a go.
Yeah?
We still need a proper sit-down meal, so we've found this incredible Japanese restaurant where we're going to sit down, have some food, and I'm going to try sake for the very first time, which is a Japanese alcoholic drink. I've ordered 2 different flavours. The one in the black glass is very sharp, somewhere on the level of vodka probably. And the fruity coloured one is more like a grape juice that's alcoholic. Quite nice actually. We've got some edamame, and we've also ordered a range of tempura things. We've got some prawns, and we've got a lot of veggie dishes as well. I didn't capture everything, but honestly it was absolutely delicious. The food was amazing and a really nice place as well. While we wait for the rain to die down, Jade's ordering a mamija manju, which is a delicacy on the island. Weirdly, you order this by using something that looks like an old-fashioned ticket machine, which is kind of interesting. But the staff were really nice and helpful, so we got there in the end. You can also watch them being produced on this conveyor belt. So we're going to enjoy this one, and then we'll go and take a look around the island. As you can see, the weather hasn't improved that much while we've been eating, but we're still going to head to one of the main things that we've come for, which is just past this stone shrine. We're looking for this incredible red shrine that sits out on the water, almost as if it's floating. However, you're seeing what it looks like on a nice sunny day, and I'll just flick to how we saw it. So as you can see, it's grey and miserable, and you can actually walk right out to it. The tide's low, so we can go up and touch it and see a bit closer, which I suppose is one advantage, but it would have been cool to see it as if it was sort of sat on the water. So on a nicer day when the tide is up, this entire area that we can see in front of the shrine is covered in water, and I'm guessing you can get some amazing pictures from the end over there. But since it's not like that today, we're going to take the opportunity to go up and see it close up, which I guess a lot of people don't get to do. That was the main one, but there are actually dozens of shrines all across the island. Now, the main one that we've just seen, you know what, actually, once we'd walked to the other side of it and looked back and we could see all of the misty clouds on the hills behind, it was pretty impressive, to be honest. A lot of people seem to be doing this as a tour group, but we've actually gone off on our own, and we've been lucky enough to find this deer with one of the last cherry blossoms. Now let's take a look around the rest of the island before we head back and explore Hiroshima. That was just a glimpse of some of the things we've seen. It's a shame about the weather because I think it would have looked 10 times better on a sunny day, but never mind. One thing I will say, I would definitely recommend exploring the island yourself rather than going on one of the tours. There's so much to see that's sort of off the track a little bit rather than just staying in the main area. But we're about to say goodbye to our dear friends because we've got a boat to catch back to Hiroshima shortly. So we'll take a final look at the main gate that's out on the water because the weather has cleared up a little bit. And then there's just one more thing that I want to show you before we leave. And it goes in line with what I was saying about exploring yourself. So when everybody arrives on the island, you immediately turn right to get into the main area. But if you turn left, you find this shrine that is on its own, and there was nobody else here. We got some great pictures on this one, and we even met another deer to say bye to before we left the island. As you've seen there, such a nice peaceful beach that most people probably miss, and it's literally just to the left as you get off the ferry. But now we are on our way back over to Hiroshima, so we're going to get there, get some rest, and then explore in the morning. We've managed to get some sleep, and now we have our final few hours in Hiroshima, so we're going to make the most of it, and we're going to see the Peace Memorial Park and the Atomic Bomb Dome. And one place that we saw on the way in, but we're not going to look at in detail, is Hiroshima Castle, and this is because there's a very similar castle in Osaka that we're going to look at, so we're just prioritising our time here. So after grabbing a quick snack and a drink on the way, the first part of the park that we're going to see is the Children's Memorial Statue. As you may have guessed from the name, this is to remember all of the children that were lost. And there are hundreds or possibly even thousands of little origami pieces that have been made by people and schools all across the world and sent to the base of this statue. The statue or monument is meant as a sign of peace and hope, and there's even an origami bell in the middle of it that you can ring to pay your respects. Facing this is a garden filled with plants that have been donated by different countries from all across the world. And then as we head towards the water, we will see the Atomic Bomb Dome, which is one of the only structures in the area that partially survived the atomic bomb that was dropped here in the 1940s. You can see some of the details in the original dome at the top. It's just amazing to see something like that still there, considering what happened. and they have rebuilt parts of the structure to keep it standing, but it's still an incredible thing to see, and in my opinion, a really important piece of history to preserve so that people can see what happened, even though it wasn't a nice thing. You know, people can see it's part of the history and we can learn from that going forward. And hopefully nothing like that will ever happen again. And for people that haven't been here, this is really one of those places where you can feel the history. If you've been to Ground Zero in New York, it's like that, where you get that sense of what's happened there. Also in the park is the peace bell that visitors are encouraged to go up and use, and this is to signify world peace and the end of atomic weapons. Heading over to the other side of the park, we'll see the peace flame, which has been lit since 1964, and they plan to keep lit until all nuclear weapons are destroyed. From here you can see the atomic bomb dome and the peace flame perfectly framed, and acting as a spot to remember everybody who died. As we make our way out of the park, we're going to take a look at the Memorial Hall. As we get inside, you can start to see this is a really peaceful space inside. It actually reminds me of a place that I went to in Helsinki that was in the middle of the city centre. And it looked just like this on the inside, really peaceful. You wouldn't know how busy it was outside. This is a bit similar with all the tourists outside in the park. And this is quite a nice, quiet space. And now, sadly, it's time for us to say goodbye to Hiroshima. It was a great 24 hours. We got to see a lot of the stuff that we wanted to do, but we need to head on to our next destination, which is Osaka. And we're taking the fast train, which is something I'm really excited to do. When we get to Osaka, we're going to be going to Universal Studios, so that is going to be a great episode. And then after that, we're going to explore Osaka itself. But for now, it's time to jump on the train. We booked this, and we specially booked some seats where we've got luggage storage behind them. So that's a tip if you're doing this. Make sure you get the seats at the back that have the luggage storage if you've got big cases with you. You'll see just how nice and spacious and clean this place is. It's going to be quite a nice journey to enjoy. We can even eat on this one. You have to be careful. Some of the trains, you can't eat on them, but this one is one of the ones where you're allowed to do it. So we're going to sit back and enjoy. If you don't already know, this video is part of a series where we are travelling across Korea and Japan, and here's a sneak peek of what's still to come in the series. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and a comment down below. If you want to keep up with the rest of the series, make sure you subscribe, and you should be able to watch one or two of the videos somewhere on the screen here, or maybe over here. And until then, see you next time.